are you suggesting to me that all of these supposed design feature is not a design?
We can decide what we actually want these to be.
So you're saying it's an illusion of design, right? It's an illusion of design. It's not a design. We can deduce that this actually is manufactured by intelligence agency.
I mean, we're just going. I mean, it's a series of different smaller actions.
No.
Several different assembly lines
In science, we look at smaller samples and then we generalize. Yeah. Look at in labs. We don't do experiments for everything and everywhere. We can do experiments in our local small labs, and then we can make our principles and theories about it, and then say this is how it's going to. We can expect it elsewhere to happen. So this particular jacket that you're wearing, can you really deduce that this was manufactured, produced, made by intelligent agency, or it's possible that we can deduce it came by chance and randomness?
A lot of it is more procedure than like creative.
What's the likelihood? What's the likelihood that this popped into existence?
We can't say anything really. And plus, we're comparing a jacket to the universe. We can't just
No. Let's make it. Let's simplify things for our own simple understanding. Because how much of science do you understand? How much of science do we understand?
Not much.
Have you understood? Are you studying quantum mechanics, for example?
No, I'm
right. So let's not go into that level of depth in science. Let's deal with simple things that, like, everyday mundane, like your jacket.
We do have to understand that there's various ways that we can obviously find the creator of. The pavement, the asphalt of this obviously was created by a state which is run by intelligent people, I guess. In terms of them just being.
Okay, I have a hypothesis. This jacket is not made by any intelligent agency who possesses knowledge, consciousness, or awareness, or will, or energy. None of that. It just popped into existence. Now, could you prove me wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
How so? Go ahead.
I'll
Try.
bring you to an assembly line where they create the jacket. I'll lead you to the factory where they have
employ child labor.
Yeah, I'll just show you the factory in which they have made the jacket, and then you will see the conscious beings.
And if I'm not able to see that, how else would you prove it?
I mean, I can just lead you there. I can just lead you there.
Suppose the company doesn't exist anymore. They go bankrupt. They're all busted. That's
Then
it.
it stops being made.
Then it starts being made.
No, it's already made. Sold.
Yeah,
It was there in some remote village in another country. They had this initial venture of manufacturing this. They produced certain lines and they got busted. And that's it. The company was taken over and they made into a sewage refinery. So it's no longer a jacket factory anymore. So you can't take me back there. So how am I going to be convinced that this is made by a manufacturer and didn't pop into existence just like that?
You're just making very extreme examples to fit what you want to argue for.
No, argue with my example.
Because,
yeah, go on.
Once you stay consistent.
But I'm not telling you something that is irrational, impractical. This happens. This happens. Companies goes bust. Yeah. So this is one of the companies that happened.
The thing is that I'm not getting you here because
You're
you're
making a
talking
very direct analogy to what you're
Yeah, I
making.
know,
It's
but,
actually exactly the
what
same thing
does
you're
this
saying.
What other do you have? What other?
What does this have to do with
This is a small jacket. On
Remember what we agreed on? Let's talk about smaller things first, because none of us know and studied quantum mechanics.
Well, you're making it
Or let's restrict our language, because children may be watching. We want to restrict our language to an acceptable level.
I don't think you can make an example that can really fit a narrative like that with
But
physical.
suppose this is my belief. I believe this popped into existence out of thin air.
Well, you can't really relate that with the creation of the universe.
No.
Forget that. then.
Forget the creation of the universe. This jacket is not created and manufactured. It just popped from the thin air into existence,
I can show
and there you
the
go.
jackets. I can show you the jackets, or you're just talking about this
No, that was the only one that they
This
sold
is
here
the
in
only
UK
one.
in London.
Specifically for this jacket.
That
Do you have
one.
any reference?
Yeah. The company got busted after making 20 jackets, and that's the one of them.
There's no rationality to that hypothesis other than the fact that you can't see it. There's no direct.
Well, I would like to know, how are you going to convince me when I can't see another jacket like that? I can't see the manufacturer. I can't talk to them.
I can't really convince someone who just is stubborn about the fact that this specific jacket.
Why am I stubborn?
made up.
Hang on. Why am I stubborn in accepting that this? Are you saying it's impossible for things to pop into existence from thin air?
Is it impossible?
Yeah. Since you don't know, you cannot say either way, right? So it is possible, or it may not. So grant that possibility to me. That it's possible. It came from thin air. So why are you saying it's absurd? Why are you saying it's stubborn?
What's the argument here?
It's just
No, the argument is
We're just
this
saying that-
came from nothing. It just popped into existence in
we're
thin
just
air.
saying that this isn't comparable to something large.
No, you're again. You see, you keep going back to the universe and the cosmos.
That's the next logical
No.
extent of your argument.
The thing is,
We know what you're saying here.
we need to
We know you're
understand.
saying, like,
First,
oh,
we need to
this was
understand
created
what we're
rationally.
dealing
That's
with.
everything else was.
What we're dealing with. If you can understand that this jacket, in your comprehension, that it is impossible, because that's your faith. In your comprehension, it is impossible for that jacket to pop into existence in thin air, just like that. If that is your faith and your belief,
It's not really my faith, though. My idea is that I don't know, therefore I don't really want to cling on to a
So it's possible.
set.
so it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible it came
guess.
into from thin air, just popped into existence. So
There's
while
no
it was
explanation for either.
while it was nothing, it became something. How do you square that?
Maybe it was there all the time. Maybe
Maybe it was
wasn't.
all the time.
Maybe it just all like the materials that were there just randomly
So that
combined.
jacket may be there all the time. Yeah? And you believe that? You believe that, right?
I mean,
You know what happened?
We have so little knowledge,
Brother,
about it.
you know what happens? What happens to materials over time? Can we have the same jacket exactly as it is and leave it for 1,000 years and exactly nothing will happen to it? Do you know what happens over time with materials like that? Are you saying this is a special jacket, nothing will decay, no discoloration, no fading away, no splitting apart like that?
I mean, that goes with the universe itself.
Yeah. So if you said it was always there, you're automatically now telling me this has a special, unique characteristics of the composition of the material that it has. It suffers no decay.
We might have theories about how the universe recycles itself practically.
I'm not talking about the universe, I'm talking about your jacket.
The thing is that we always come back.
You see, look.
Are we talking about the jacket or?
Firstly, we were talking about cause and effect. We are talking about, can things pop into existence from without any intelligent agency prior to an event happening, prior to something materializing. That is the point of a discussion that I joined in. Your jacket is something that is manufactured, something that happened, it materialized.
Yeah.
It is now in existence.
Yeah.
So the question is meaningful to ask, has it always been there? Like you were saying, it could be. Your jacket may have been always been there. So my question would be, if it has always been there, in this particular composition, it's got chain, it's got buttons, it's got padding. I want to know, without an intelligence agency, this being always there, how did it come into that composition? You need to give me some rational explanation.
There is no rational explanation.
I don't get you.
There is none.
Such a thing,
Rational
organized.
explanation of the
Look,
bourgeoisie.
does this have 3 arms or 2 arms? 2 arms. So as if like it is.
Actually, because I mean, he could put his arm through there.
Yeah.
That's 3 arms.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the way it is designed.
As
So
we want.
the way it is designed, it looks like it will fit in a particular size of a body, who has 2 hands, and you've got the chain to actually close it together. You've got pockets to put up things like this, and you've got pockets on the front as well with buttons, so that add things in there, doesn't pop out of it. Are you suggesting to me that all of these supposed design feature is not a design?
We can decide what we actually want these to be.
So you're saying it's an illusion of design, right? It's an illusion of design. It's not a design.